How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to UMG Atlanta. Golden Boy here, of course, joined by Rambo. Make sure you unmuted your microphone, by the way.
I unmuted. We're good.
We're coordinating. We're coordinating.
They're hearing me.
All right. This is a pleasure for me because you're like one of my favorite people to cast with because you just make analytical commentary so easy.
Thank you.
So, Rambo, just before we get into the game, want to ask you, how are you feeling? How's the team? And I guess, any plans for the future right now?
Well, obviously, it's a tough event. I mean, having lost yesterday in the best of 3 phase was definitely not something we wanted.
Yeah.
We definitely the best of 5 is what you want to get to. So it was a tough start, but today's match was close, and we just didn't come out on top. So, I mean, you win some, you lose some, and we'll learn from it.
Yeah, well, you know what? Now we're going to actually watch Epsilon go up against UNiTE. Rambo's going to join me on commentary, of course, because this dude, he's going to make it so easy for me. So let's go ahead and hop right into the action now, as we are going to have on your screen Embos from UNiTE kicking things off. And I love watching Embos play, man. He has just such an aggressive SMG. But on top of that, he's come so far as a player. This is a big moment for him and the rest of the UNiTE squad as well.
Definitely a new team that hasn't been playing together for that very long.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of team changes in the past, and they're actually starting on good side here. They get off to a really good start. They had good start on Slum, which is obviously the favorable side, really what you want to start with, and they're making the best of it right now.
Yeah, now I want to ask you about the break here, the opening strategy. What is it that you want to do? Because obviously you want to establish control of the bottom hard point, right, which is the next hard point following up. But how do you guys go about doing it, and what do you see that these two teams could be doing right or doing wrong?
Well, right now, UNiTE's playing it really well. They're controlling the full lead map. As you can see, they're spreading out blue side and brick side. UNiTE wants to force Epsilon to push through a brick side right now, so they can cut them off really easily with their area players. They're doing a really good job of controlling the map, like I said, and ooh, this is okay. That was a big kill. If he died of that, they possibly could have flipped the spawns. But I see it's 43-0 right now, and the next hill just came up. Now UNiTE needs to control the right side of the street and ensure that they don't push the spawns. And if they do, they're going to get off to a really good start here.
Well, look for Embos to really take control here, as he's going to find one player in front of him. Unfortunately, he is going to get picked off. We're going to stick with him off the respawn. So they're going to be spawning from blue side. There's going to be one player left. That will be Ricky. Full red, having to back up. 3 players coming from the anchor side, as he's able to take one out there. Ricky having to drop back. He held this down, and I'm actually really impressed with that, because there were 3 Epsilon players pushing right through that back street.
UNiTE actually played that wrong, but they got away with it. They actually had no one controlling the right street, and pretty much just gave Epsilon a free road to the spawns. But we saw them spawn blue, and we saw them getting some, like you said, some clutch kills on the hill that enabled them to actually control the map. And now they're going to be up like 90-0. Epsilon has yet to get a point throughout 2 hills, which is huge and a big start. I'm guessing at least one of that streaks. Could be wrong, but definitely if they can break this next hill, they're definitely looking good for this map right now.
If someone has streaks, it's Embos, and because he was on a tear earlier, but we're going to find out. No, actually, no one has streaks from UNiTE, and Epsilon on the other side. Actually, Miracles has streaks, so he's going to be looking pretty solid there. Now, what are they going to do here on Junkyard? Because obviously, this is their time to be able to come back into the game. A solid 120 points that they're going to be able to accrue here if they can hold down Junkyard and Garage.
Well, Epsilon is one of the best teams at roaming. As you see, Miracles just kind of roaming around. That's how he gets his streaks normally. He's just a really aware player of where the action's coming and where he needs to go to get to the action. So we saw him with map control, and we saw him with a really slow start, but that means nothing. Especially in slums, it's a map that can quickly turn around. Streaks have a big impact on the map. And we saw UNiTE had no streaks despite them being up 90-0.
Yeah, Nameless absolutely went massive with a 3-piece there. Let's actually go ahead and jump on board with Nameless, as they're going to be fighting their way over to the Junkyard. And again, 95-43. Epsilon finally putting some points on the board, as Nameless is going to get taken out from behind there. That was going to be Miracles. John with a cleanup on Saints as well. And, this UNiTE squad, man, they've come so far. And I've even heard people say that if there is a team to knock out Epsilon at this point in time, it actually could be this match. It could be UNiTE.
UNiTE's a very strong team. We actually saw Miracle there use his Lightning Strike when he didn't really need to use it. He felt a bit unsafe about the situation and used his Lightning Strike, but his teammates ended up getting kills. He ended up killing himself with that, so that's really good for UNiTE here. But they really need to start breaking some points. They need to get these spawns. Epsilon is doing the exact same thing that UNiTE was doing them in the first 2 hills, is controlling the map, and UNiTE really needs to make something of that, or else they're going to start losing pretty soon.
Yeah, hard point's a game of spawns, right? You get the control first, then you get the kills. If I'm correct, that's the mentality a lot of players run with.
Yeah, pretty much. And we see UNiTE here just get a spawn, because it seemed like they pushed up the middle. I'm not sure how they broke the spawn, but just sometimes it's hectic like that, and just thready action goes on. We see now it's going to be about a 60-second lead for UNiTE if they can break this hill with the last 10 seconds. But Epsilon has the map control for this next 2 hills. And actually, I'm freaking talking for nothing here. We see Epsilon actually spawning back and pushing up blue side now. So it's a really mix of battles here, and it's going to be whoever comes out on top with the spawns that's going to have a better shot at controlling the next half of the game.
Yeah, well, Miracle's able to find one player there. There is going to be one on the contention as Miracles needs a happy heads up. And Nameless playing amazing right now as Miracle's actually going to bust out that Hellstorm. So let's see if he's going to be able to pick up 2, and he is able to. That could open things up here for his teammates, namely John, to get that control. And they're going to be holding this one down, but UNiTE's actually taking their time. It seems like they're not going to get too aggressive here for fears of losing that next following hardpoint.
Yeah, of course. Like you said, they're taking their time. They're being patient. It's really important to not push out until you get the first kill. But we see Epsilon here getting the first 2. So now, as you look on the minimap, UNiTE is actually spawning out. So and Nameless gets a huge 3-piece. That's actually going to flip the spawns around once again. Just hectic. Nameless is going off right now. Went on like a 5-kill tear there. Did not get score streak, which is also the important part. Like every time we go on a tear, you have to be able to slow it down as well when you get close. And that's something that I've been personally working on my game a lot, and I wasn't able to do crap today about that. But still, it's still like important. And we see a good rotation here from UNiTE. They're going to control the spawns, and they should be able to get a good amount of time on this hill unless something really bad happens.
Yeah, lots of pressure here coming from the police car as Nameless is going to get taken out, jumping on board with Ricky as shots are going to be exchanged back and forth. Saints picking up a double there as he will get cleaned up by John. Ricky, of course, finding a lot of pressure coming from Red Street, and Ricky, just holding it down in the anchor position, exactly what UNiTE needs to maintain control of this hard point and continue to pad on to that lead. Without a doubt, UNiTE are playing very solid Call of Duty right now.
Some really good shots there, and some good patience by UNiTE. They were giving up the spawns because they were not controlling the street, and Epsilon was actually looking at the spawn, so that blocked it. But they were still getting blue spawns, so they didn't get too crazy. They just played it slow in the back, and they were still in a better position to actually control. But now they lose the spawns, but it's actually a decent thing to do because they get kind of like a free rotation on this next hard point, which we saw Epsilon control really well last time. So if they can hold this, they'll probably have a really good shot at taking this game.
Well, looking at Epsilon now, we're going to be hopping on board with Killa. Killa's going to get control inside a junkyard. You had said it was like that free rotation, but Nameless, he is just not going to have any of that. He is taking out anyone he possibly can. Jumping on over to Ricky here as he's going to be pushing on through, and he's going to go for that anchor position. He's going to hold it down. That's what his job is here. He's just merely going to support his teammates the best that he can in this junkyard hardpoint.
So we saw Nameless got a huge 2-piece through rotation. I just want to show the importance of that kills. It pretty much made Epsilon spawn across the map because they still had control of the old hill while all of that was happening. So it gave Epsilon some really unfavorable spawns, and Ricky gets a huge 2-piece. Now they have full map control, and this is going to be right. This is a huge hill because controlling the spawns on the third hill actually means you control spawns on the 4th hill. So if they can keep this going, they're definitely going to take this map.
Well, they are getting swarmed though, and that actually was going to come from Miracles, who ended up coming around from Garage and then took out the anchor. It was Ricky. So Miracles, of course, playing pretty solid here. Let's take a look at the stats at the mid part of this game. Right now, Embo's 23 and 21, playing great. Killa and Miracles, though, they're tearing it apart, as well as Parasite, 22 and 14. So definitely has been a great game thus far, but at 177 and 142 with the way the stats are, Epsilon's outslaying UNiTE, yet UNiTE still maintains the lead because, again, control is everything when it comes to hardpoint.
Well, it was those first 2 hills. We saw Epsilon get a lot of kills. It wasn't UNiTE. Like we said, they had no score streaks, and it came to the point where Epsilon got a really good start killing-wise, but just wasn't controlling the map with those kills. But we see Kill here having full streaks, which is huge. He actually team kills John there, which is kind of a mistake. And if they actually can't go for spawns here, we're going to see UNiTE take at least 30 more seconds on this hill and maybe come out on top. But if you look at the minimap, Epsilon has a good amount of control right now. It's all about who gets the kills in this fight right here.
Yeah, and actually Killa ended up killing John one more time, which is going to be unfortunate. But Killa with a great jump around from the corner, taking out Embos. As we go ahead and take a look here at Miracles working on a 2-score streak. Don't forget Parasite on a 4-kill spree as well. So Miracles going to get cleaned up. Looking at Parasite as he's going to be maintaining control of the garage. 14 seconds. And bear in mind, Killa is fully streaked out. So what that means is as soon as that mid-hard point's coming out, Killa's going to drop at least a Hellstorm to clear it up and allow his teammates to get that position.
That's going to be huge. UNiTE needs to keep control here. They need to bait those streaks for Epsilon to actually have some sort of map control. If UNiTE gives a spawn right here, which they didn't, which is really good. Now these streaks are forced out by UNiTE to just pretty much try and get map control. That Hellstorm did not get anything, and we saw Killa was really far back, and UNiTE gets the first 2 kills, which is huge. We see some more source streaks coming in. They have to make something out of this really quick.
Yeah, they do. Parasite ends up picking up 2 with that Hellstorm. It is 212 to 176, and only one of their Hellstorms being affected. But bear in mind, Parasite's going to be fully streaked out as well. He has that War Machine. That could really come in handy in that bottom hard point if he controls that red streak with it, perhaps. Who knows? But Nameless going absolutely huge.
Dude.
He's going to be on a 3-kill spree right now. Has to reload for a second because he's going to get this kill. Oh, never mind.
Nameless went
Not
huge.
if Parasite had anything to say about that.
That was huge. Now, UNiTE has to hold. If they hold the rotation, his game's over. There's absolutely nothing Epsilon can do. So it's really big for UNiTE to be patient here. These kills matter. Actually, I think, yeah, they held it. They held it. They held it. That's huge. Now, there's about 3 seconds left of this hill. As you can see on your mini-map, Epsilon spawning across the map. So that's pretty much going to be it unless they pretty much Epsilon has one push at this, and it's really not looking good.
Yeah, this is actually going to be unfolding pretty bad here. Amazing plays out by Embos. He is playing solid Call of Duty right now, and that is going to be a GG. UNiTE ends up taking game number 1. Let's take a look at the stats here, Rambo. Embos, 35 and 30, 6 caps, 10 defends. Amazing game. But you know what? Nameless is a player.
Dude,
although
seriously.
he went 24 and 36, he had key plays that really opened up doors for UNiTE.
You couldn't have said that any better. It really comes to the point where your stats are not a direct influence of what you did in the game. We saw Nameless get some really clutch kills throughout the point, and especially on the middle hill when those streaks are going on. I mean, streaks are good. You can get a kill or two with it, but if your next push isn't, if the last 2 players on the hill kill you while your push is going, because what you call the streaks, you're not moving.
Yeah.
So it's really important to actually your players to push up. And we see Nameless there being uber pumped. So big props to UNiTE for actually taking that first map, and that's huge. I think like I was telling my team earlier, the first map is the biggest map against Epsilon, because if they get into that mood where they just all get talking and all get into it, they become a really hard team to beat. But they take that momentum completely away off the start, and a big props to Epsilon. What's the second?
I mean, just craziness. And our next game type, by the way, let's see here. Actually, I'm not even positive. We had round 7 here. It's going to be Search and Destroy, and regardless of the fact, Search and Destroy with Embos on your team.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That's scary.
He's a factor.
Yeah, he definitely is. So we are most certainly going to be on the lookout for that one, guys. Tweet us your predictions. Who do you think is going to take this one? Of course, I'm Golden Boy, and you guys know who he is. This is Rambo. We're going to be right back with the continuation of this series. It is right now going to be Game 2, Search and Destroy between UNiTE and Epsilon. We'll see you after the break.